What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Today we are back on some more two strokes, of course. Why not? What else are we going to ride, as there's just been a massive pack released, and today I'm riding the KTM 250. Now, off the back of my TM video that you guys watched yesterday, a lot of people were saying that apparently the 250s are not like OP broken, but like super fast, and I actually kind of agree. I spun a handful of laps around aerial round 4 at Arlington on the 250s, and I won't lie, I'm not far off of my 450 lap times, which seems absolutely crazy to me. So we're going to try out this new track that recently released by Noxo, which is Moto A Go-Go Land, and I know that it was originally an MX Simulator track that I believe he's converted. I don't know if he built it from the ground up or if he took the height map and moved it over. Originally created by the god of all track creating on MX Simulator, Checkers, for Moto Go-Go, I'm guessing. Those of you who are unaware of who Moto Go-Go is, he is, well, I'm not sure what he's up to nowadays, actually. I've not heard from him or about him in a very long time. But back when I was at the peak of my my sim career, he was kind of like one of the go-to streamers, like I think only just behind Kellen, to be honest, in terms of popularity. But I'm not sure what he's up to nowadays. I checked out his YouTube channel before doing this, and he's not posted in about 6 months, so hope he's doing well. I know there was a brief patch where he was struggling in terms of just health-wise, but hopefully he's on the mend, and whatever he is and wherever he is and whatever he's up to nowadays, he's doing pretty good. He was a very fun, bubbly personality in the MX Simulator community. Would stop by on his streams quite often, and I'd always get that massive ego effect because he'd always compliment me loads when I was actually good at the game. So yeah, moving on. This is his track, essentially, and it is called, well, it's Moto Go-Go Land, but it's Red Bud's Creek. So I'm guessing a combination of Red Bud and Bud's Creek. I guess there's a few sections in here that will probably be taken from one or two of the tracks, and then with a little bit of added Checkers spice thrown in there as well, and then, of course, completely remixed by Mr. Noxo. Now, I'm not sure if it's picking up on your guys' screens, or well, obviously in the recording if you'll see on YouTube. For the last, I want to say like 2 days or so, every now and then I'll get a really bad like spike, like a freeze. It's not like the frames go lower or anything like that, it just fully freezes for even like 0.1 of a second and then goes back to normal. It doesn't affect the riding at all because it happens so quickly that it can't really cause any mistakes. But it's just definitely a bit of a strange one. I'm not sure what's causing it. I don't know what's causing that either, other than Poboso's amazing physics. So let's carry on. But let's talk a bit about these 252 strokes. So I think they're a hell of a lot of fun. The only negative I could find so far, this KTM being the one I've used the most, is obviously they all have their own unique characteristics, which is why I'm probably going to look at doing a 252 stroke like breakdown, that comparison video, shootout, that's the word I was looking for, 250 shootout video, just to go through and compare them all. A lot of people are saying the Husky's really good, everyone always loves the KTMs as well. I think it's probably the best looking one. Oh god, got to turn right, there we go. Definitely the best looking 250 out of them all. I do love the 23 KTM plastics. I think they look very smexy. I wonder if you can step up that entire thing. We'll work it out as we go. But so this track's very flowy so far. So the only downside I've found on this KTM, at least so far, A, is its ability to hit the whoops, but I'm having that issue across every single bike right now since the update. I think suspensions on the 450s have been tweaked a lot. I don't think they really touched the 250s, so my Honda is all fine. But yeah, 450s struggling. Back to the drawing board right now. I'm not really in love with the Yamaha at the moment, so over the next day or two, might mess around a bit. You might see me on a different bike at Daytona. Who knows? As you know before, I'm always changing my mind on bikes, even down to the last couple of minutes before qualifying starts. And then there's actually two issues that I found with this bike in particular. So, oh, survive, thank you. So yeah, first one is the ability to hit the whoops. And second one is I found it doesn't really want to turn sharp at all. Now, obviously that was on Supercross. Nationals is probably completely different, but I was finding on some of the flat corners, so if we take Arlington, for example, you go through the whoops, you turn left, and then you'd have that sharp right as well. Those two, like that sharp left and sharp right, the flat corners, the bike just kind of wants to go in a straight line. Even you got to slow it down so much more than you usually would on some of the other bikes. And I'm hoping that's just down to setup. I know by default this bike has one fork height, and I mean, I know it seems a bit backwards, but the higher your fork height is on this, the sharper your bike turns. It's how much distance there is between your forks and the top. Oh, quick pause real quick. Old Mama Lynn's walked in the room, had to say hello. So, yeah, the forks are very, very low down by stock. So if you are having any issues getting this bike turned in the sharp corners, feel free to mess with that. The only warning I would give you is it then does open up like the possibilities for front end tucks. Makes it a lot more easy to tuck the front. Let me see if I can clear this. I feel like I didn't get anywhere near. I know I scrubbed it, but let's go around the outside. I think the outside's going to be the move, actually. It should make it much easier. Get off the back of it. Stretch it out. Get it. Oh, barely. Oh, that's a very well-scaled jump. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. And then ruin it straight after. I'm not sure what bike like Noxo had in mind for this track, or if he had any in mind. If I don't know. Again, I'm not sure how much he's put into this in terms of personal touches and how much is like taken directly from sim. He does thank checkers in the post for this. Again, I'm not sure if there was full permission given or not, so that is why I'm recording it as soon as I can in case anything happens and the track is taken down. But of course I'll leave the link for you guys in the description down below as always if you want to try it out yourselves. I mean, the track itself is really nice, fun and flowy. Environment and I'd say texture wise could do with a bit of work, because I've got, let me press my reshade on and off button real quick. So this is reshade off and this is reshade on. So you can see even with my reshade on, that usually makes things pop a bit more, make it a little bit brighter. Still a little bit on the, I would say, dull side in terms of colours. The greens aren't like really green, and the track is almost a little bit greyish, like a greyish brown. At least on my monitor. It might show up completely different on YouTube and your guys' different monitors. I know it's weird, so I've got two like completely different brand monitors, different sizes. I know that probably triggers some people's OCD, but it's just is what it is, just using what I've got available. And my main monitor, which is my 2K one, 255 Hertz refresh rate, loving that, is a little bit duller in colour than the one that I've got on my left, which is only a 1080 monitor, which is like 60 Hertz and that's it, which is the one I go and move my Streamlabs over to. But it just means that all of my recordings over on that monitor, they always look a lot brighter and a lot nicer than they end up being. Maybe I should start tweaking some of my colours in DaVinci Resolve. I edit my videos with DaVinci Resolve. It's a free editing program, and there's like a colour like option on there where you can mess with saturation and things like that. And I used to do it all the time before I used Reshade, and basically since I started using Reshade I just didn't bother anymore because I thought the gameplay would be bright enough. I got nowhere near it that time. Holy, that is a stretch. That might just be a 450 line. I can't lie. But let's talk about these 250s a little bit more. I'm getting sidetracked and going on a random tangent. So I have seen the people have been running some very, very fast lap times with these bad boys. Because I know in the aerial series, everybody's always asking, can we ride two strokes? Can we ride two strokes? Like over and over again. Now, firstly, I'll give you the reasons why they don't usually allow two strokes. I know in real life, you can ride two-stroke if you want. I mean, Stank Dog is the prime example of this. He's made a main event on the 125. Very, very impressive stuff. However, we play MX Bikes. MX Bikes is not the smoothest of running games at the best of times. So the reason that they started removing the two strokes from all of the races is not because they think, oh, nobody's going to be able to qualify on it, or on some tracks, let's just say maybe it's too much of an advantage, given one way or the other. The sole reason being is it means that servers have to load more bikes and cache more bikes, and with all the issues that we have joining servers, you know, games crashing, getting black box, you have to quit and leave again, it would make loading times a lot longer, it would make the chance of the server dying much higher as well, and I think it just increases your chances of your game crashing at the same time. So that is the real reason that they've not been including those. It just gives them one less bike class for the server to have to cache and use, which I can fully see that. I can understand where they're coming from, so it doesn't bother me too much. I remember, I think I've only got 2 outdoor 250 overalls, and one of them was on a 125 at Budds Creek back in 2021. Oh, God, those were the days. Can you imagine being able to rock up with the competition of people nowadays and winning on a two-stroke? It'd be unimaginable, unthinkable, but those were the good old days. And the game had a lot less crashing issues back then as well, which I don't understand how it's got worse over time, but you know, just MX Bikes things. That's why we love the game. I'm going to send it again, even though I don't think I've got the speed. No, land it. No. So I thought I landed that pretty damn straight, but I still got a kick to the side a bit. And let me, yeah, let me know in the comments. Getting all sorts of tongue twisted and my mind's going blank, I do apologise. If anybody else, since the release of Beta 18.1 OEMs, has been struggling just in the rough stuff, whether it's like a rough outdoor track or a whoop section, as I mentioned earlier, 250s for me feel really, really good. I really enjoy them. I'm super happy that that's the class that I chose to do for MXGP. You guys seem to enjoy watching it. Like, we had a really, really good stream doing it. I had much more fun than I ever expected to, because I really don't consider myself an outdoor guy at all. I much prefer my Supercross tracks all the time, but done well. It's all downhill from here after getting the first dub. But the 450s, I cannot, for the life of me, get them to go round a national track or get them through a whoop section. Now, I've said it time and time again, I'm not a setup god, so I know that there's probably things that you can do to greatly improve your chances, but I feel like the bike's stock suspensions should at least get you through whoops. You know, maybe it might be a little bit more inconsistent, maybe you make it through maybe 5 out of 10 times rather than 10 out of 10, but right now I really only seem to be making it through if I'm going for like an actual hot lap and trying to properly blitz the whoops, like the pros blitz the whoops IRL. It's like a 3 out of 10 chance that I get in or get through them. If I check up and hit them like super slowly, or if I even end up doubling or tripling my way through, yeah, it's fine, I've got no issue at all. But I just seem to be having a lot of grief. This is on the setup, so if we take the Yamaha 450 for example, on a setup that was completely fine for me on exactly the same track prior, but there's just been some sort of tweaks there with the front end that I'm really, really trying to work out. I feel like the front end sits a lot higher now by default, and when I was playing, because it sits so high, it almost feels like the bike's faster in a straight line. It makes it feel like the rear end's squatting a lot more, so the second you get in a straight line, the bike really just wants to take off, wants to squat the back end and go and wheelie. So it's a little bit unpredictable, but something that they have improved, which I do need to give them props on, because I think that was the main task for them to improve, is the front ends in corners is a lot better now, a lot more stable. If let's say you're singling into a 180 turn on Supercross, you can actually jump into it a little bit now without the bike freaking out and getting all kinds of wonky and sideways and tucking the front and these random crashes. So that feels really, really good. I just can't work out the suspension on the rough stuff, and it's probably a skill issue. I think there's some people, I know Rubes has said that he's like vibing with it really well when he's getting through the whoops better than ever. I'm wondering, he said himself, which I thought might have been the case, which would be quite funny, is if he was struggling before, but now it's fine, maybe his setup before was bad and it's accidentally become good, and mine is the reverse, where mine was good and now the suspension's changed, it is bad. But who knows? I've got no idea. Oh, that's not the line you're meant to be taking. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing this track any justice at all. My mind's, I don't know why, my mind's wandering a little bit today. I'm sure you've noticed throughout this video, I keep kind of stopping or throwing blanks here and there. I'm very, very sorry, not sure why. It probably doesn't help that I'm very, very hungry. I did have like a 50-minute Zwift session earlier, which I did get it fixed. I think it was yesterday's video that I mentioned that my cable wasn't responding. It's oddly enough, it's the end that goes into my PC that ended up having the issue. So I was like very slowly unplugging it and replugging it back in, and there's a very, very sweet spot of when it's working. I guess kind of if anyone's ever had it before, where you've maybe a phone charger wires at the end of its life and you have to hold it at a certain angle for it to work. That was the case. So I got that working now, so now I can actually ride on Zwift again, which is nice. I do enjoy it, and I really, really hard tried pushing myself today, like hard enough pushed myself in a very, very long time. Probably should have put like a towel down on the floor or something, because like my carpet absorbed all of that sweat, best believe me. And I suppose just in terms of general life, small updates again, I'm doing pretty damn good. I'm really, really enjoying like going to the gym for the first time in my life, where I'm not just banging out cardio all the time for a change. I'm actually doing weights, and in the space of probably about a month overall, from like changing my food to then going to the gym and stuff, the difference in body composition has been great. Like the weight necessarily hasn't gone down loads, but I'm definitely converting what was fat into muscle, and definitely getting a lot slimmer in the process, and the top half's getting bigger in the good way, in the way that you want. So happy days. I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. It's weird to say, it's like the most male thing ever, isn't it? Islands, I like lift weight, weight good, make me feel good. That's about it. There's no other more updates to give you on that front. Oh god. Okay. So when I was thinking of this concept of video in head, I was kind of going to go approach it with the mentality of the KTM 250 like, is a big barker, but I seem to have chosen a track here where it doesn't really shine through, because some of the jumps on this track are bloody huge, and I feel like you would be better off on a 450. So the one video that I don't ride a 450, which is it's usually overkill on every track, but the one track I don't ride it, I feel like I needed one. So I do apologise for that. It wasn't my intention, but regardless, let's go. I think I should go over this. That was a good run. Go on, get it. Get it. Yes, at the front end down there. Lovely stuff. Oh, get on the binders. Get on the binders. No. Oh, God. There's a little braking bump there that really screwed me over. Made me take off. But overall, I mean, it's a good track. Again, I don't know how much the track was worked on by Noxo himself and how much is taken directly from Sim, but if I'm being honest, anything with Checker's name in it is always going to be good. That's it. As I said, he was like the GOAT of MX Simulator content. I know he left for a while. I don't know if he's since returned, if he's on the scene at all still, or if he's still doing his own thing. I know that I think he works for Race Tech, like suspension-wise, and doing stuff along those lines. But yeah, I'm not going to dig too much into the lore of Checkers. I know he used to make tracks for MX vs ATV. I believe he was one of the main people that helped with the JS7 compound on the live. So there you go. There's throwing some credentials your way. I feel like there's no way anyone played the JS7 compound on the live and didn't really enjoy it. So big Dubsky, big shout out to that man. He's definitely been a source of a lot of my my fun on Sim over the years. So throwing random shout outs all over the place. We've had MotoGogo in here, we've had Checkers in here, we've got Noxo for making the track as well, we've got the OEM team for the two-stroke bikes, and I just want to say, boys, if you're having any issues with the two-strokes, just be patient. I know a lot of people are moaning about the KTM 125 having no bottom end on it. I've used it myself, and honestly, I don't think it's as bad as people are making out. At the end of the day, you have to remember that it is a two-stroke. It is a 125 or 125, and I'm going to get destroyed in the comments again for using the English pronunciation rather than the American. But just give it some time. I'm sure if it's that bad, the OEM team will update it in the near future as well. And in my opinion, I don't really think it's bad enough for all of the complaints. I mean, two-strokes are meant to be ridden in high RPMs always. So if you're not using the clutch to pull away in-game, it makes sense that they bog a lot. So once you get moving and you keep the bike in the high RPMs where it functions properly, the bike's an absolute rocket ship. Like it moves, it's really good, and I'm quite surprised how fast these two-strokes are. I definitely think they're a lot faster than the old two-strokes were. The 250s aren't quite as nimble as the old ones were, I don't think, but the 125s, 100%, they feel so light and they're so much fun to throw around. I know that the TM144 that I done a video on yesterday is in the MX3 category, unfortunately, so you can't race it against the 125s. I do feel like it would be a little bit OP, if I'm being completely honest, but I've been enjoying them. Not to the extent where they're the only thing that I want to ride. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still having way too much fun on the 254 strokes at the moment, and then the 450s I'm just riding because I have to ride them for EU 450. This is going to go horribly wrong. Okay. Can we get, if you've made it to the end of this video, rewind the whole thing, tell me how many times I've crashed, because I think I might be setting a new record here, and it's not a difficult track at all, by any means. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I just have bad days every now and then, which I do apologise for, but I would rather give you guys content every single day, because I know some of you are just here for my voice, to be honest, and the gameplay in the background's just that. It's just background noise and footage, so thank you, those of you that support me in anything that I do. And just a little update as well, over the last like 2 days or so, I've been thinking about revamping the whole Lynn's Plays channel, but I've kind of scrapped that idea now, and what I would like to do is, if I am ever going to play any different games, in terms of games that I would produce content on, because I play a lot of FIFA with Charlie, for example, but I wouldn't record content on that. That's just kind of like our casual chill out game that we play. But let's say, I'm not going to do it now because it's kind of past the point, but say Sons of the Forest came out tomorrow and I really want to play it and create content on it, I'll just live stream it. Very, very similar to like basically what Riders do, and I've seen Riders doing exactly the same thing, where the videos are MX bikes, the live streams are not MX bikes, and I think like that kind of works out best for both parties, because you guys that are here for the two-wheel stuff, you don't miss out on your daily uploads, and then you boys that are here for me as a, I guess as a character, as a, what's the word, like a persona, like you're here for Linz rather than the MX bike stuff, you get to enjoy some more variety too. I don't know how often that will be the case, because very annoyingly the times that are ideal for me to live stream, which is probably about 8 PM my time through to 11 PM to midnight, where I would get the most viewers because there's a combination of Europeans and Americans. It's also the time that I go to the gym, because my gym, I don't know what it is about it, it is absolutely jam-packed full of people all day long. If you go on Google, where you type in somewhere and it says like busy times of the day, every single day, I mean every weekday at least, weekends are a little bit different, but every single weekday it is absolutely rammed, like from 6 AM all the way through to about 8 PM, and then 9 PM is when it finally starts dropping off. And I don't know about anyone else, but I like an empty gym. I hate battling for equipment and this, that and the other. I mean, I even went at 9 PM the other day, and there's probably about 10 or so treadmills there, and I still couldn't get on a treadmill. Like, every single one was taken, so it's annoying. It kind of disrupts my flow a little bit. So I go to the gym very late in the evening, but it is also perfect time for me to be streaming different games, so I'm kind of caught in a tough situation there. But we'll see. I'll make time for it here and there. I can have the occasional off day. I'm not just going to kill myself going to the gym 7 days a week. Yeah, happy days. That's probably going to do it from me. I feel like this has been like one of the most off-topic videos I've ever done, and that's coming from me, where all of my videos seem to go on random rants. I hope you've enjoyed it though, as random and off-topic as it's been. I have no idea what I'm going to call this one, if I'm honest. Someone moaned at me for clickbaiting the other day because I wasn't riding the new two-strokes, even though I didn't say that I was riding the new two-strokes. I literally said within the first 30 seconds that I wasn't riding the new two-strokes because I always record a day in advance, but go off, King. So, I'm going to love you and leave you. If you enjoyed, please do drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. It means a lot. I greatly appreciate it. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. Catch you tomorrow. See ya.